The fret miter box has been set up mostly through trial and error by adjusting the fret saw stops to the perfect height so that the cut goes about halfway through the fretboard wood. You're also going to need an extra piece of Luan ply to use as a shim underneath the part of the neck that doesn't have Luan under it. So when you cut the line, it won't break the wood. Also, I'm going to use an A-clamp to keep the wood tight up against the fence while I'm cutting. I took the ends off of the A-clamp so the metal is exposed, so it won't slip off as easy. I want to cut right on top of the line or dot, so I'm going to line it up each time exactly so my mark is where the saw slot is. And then I'm going to drop it down. I'll put the saw on top just to make sure it's perfectly lined up. And then I'm clamp it in. Always try to clamp as close as possible to where you're cutting so the wood doesn't wiggle around. Once you get a rhythm with this, it'll go pretty quickly. I'm going to double check, make sure I'm on the line. You'll know when to stop sawing when the beam on top of the miter saw hits the stops. I'm going to pick it up and do it all again 14 times. When I get down to the last 2 frets, I need to put the spacer underneath so the wood doesn't bend. To attach the fretboard assembly to the neck, I've got my line drawn here, which is the measurement from the end of the headstock, and I'm going to put it there. I want to remember that one side of the assembly is very smooth and the other side has a little bit of extra hanging over. So when I glue this down, I'm going to make sure that this side is flush completely. I'm going to apply glue here to the Luan. Here we go. I'm going to carefully line it up. I'm going to use my fingers to make sure it's flush on this side, and the overhang is hanging over on that side. And then I'm just going to tape it in place. Of course, while the glue is wet, it can slide around quite a bit. So I have to be very careful while I'm doing this to not let the fretboard slide around. You definitely don't want to have your fretboard end up looking like that. That's exaggerating, but even a little bit of angle will make it sound out of tune. I'm going to let this sit and dry for a while. and we'll see you in the next video.